Welcome to the Local Eye podcast by Proximity Ads. This is Bob. And
I'm Michelle.
we're going to unpack how you can use the power of psychology.
It shifts the focus from the technical aspect to the emotional benefits. Powerful stuff.
Makes sense. So you're not just selling a service, you're selling that feeling.
Because let's face it, even if you've got the best product or service in the world, if you don't know how to connect with your customers on a psychological level, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
Now, you know we love to bring you the latest marketing tips and tricks to really help you level up your business. But for this deep dive, we're getting into something that can give you a serious edge. We're going to unpack how you can use the power of psychology to supercharge your marketing.
Yeah.
That's right. We're talking about understanding how people think.
And how they make decisions. Because let's face it, even if you've got the best product or service in the world, if you don't know how to connect with your customers on a psychological level, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
Big time. And the best part is these strategies we're about to unpack apply whether you're a plumber or a landscaper, an electrician, or any other kind of local business owner. So no matter what you're selling, stick with us because this is going to be good. Let's kick things off with a concept called priming. Have you ever noticed how like a certain image or even a song can just like instantly put you in a specific mood? Well, that's priming in action. It's all about setting the stage in someone's mind before you even like make your pitch, like you're kind of planting a seed without them even realizing it.
Exactly. It's like those subconscious associations that happen in our brains all the time. Like, imagine if you see a picture of a happy family, they're hanging out in their beautifully landscaped yard, and then right after that you see an ad for a landscaping company. You're already primed to connect those positive feelings with that business. You see what I mean?
It's like you're already halfway there, right? You've set the mood. So it's not just about the images though, right? I mean, words can have the same effect, can't they?
Oh, absolutely. The language you use in your marketing materials can subtly influence people's perceptions and their decisions. So let's say you're a plumber, right? Instead of just saying, hey, we've fixed leaky faucets, you could talk about creating, peace of mind for homeowners. It shifts the focus from the technical aspect to the emotional benefit. It's powerful stuff.
Makes sense. You're not just selling a service, you're selling that feeling. And I bet this applies to choosing the right images for your website and your social media too, right?
For sure. You want visuals that align with the emotions you're trying to evoke. So for instance, a plumber could use images of like sparkling clean kitchens or families relaxing, having fun in a stress-free home environment. It subconsciously reinforces those feelings of reliability and comfort that people associate with a good plumber.
It's making me rethink everything I've ever posted online, that's for sure. Okay, so how can we use this priming thing strategically? Let's say I'm a landscaper. What kind of images would I want to use to prime potential customers?
Well, think about what your ideal customer is looking for. Do they want a peaceful retreat, a space to entertain and hang out with family and friends? Or maybe they just want a yard that makes their neighbors jealous. Use pictures that capture those feelings. Think lush gardens, kids playing on a swing set, or a perfectly manicured lawn that just screams curb appeal.
Got it. So it's like I'm creating a mood board for my business, trying to capture the feeling I want people to have. Okay, so we've got priming down. Now let's talk about reaching the right people. I mean, local businesses often face this dilemma. Do you go broad with your marketing and try to reach everyone? Or do you get laser focused and target a specific niche? What do you think?
It's a great question, and one that a lot of business owners struggle with. On the surface, targeted advertising seems like the way to go. You're putting your message right in front of the folks who are already interested in what you have to offer, so it seems like a no-brainer.
Right. It's more efficient, right? But I've heard that even though targeted ads can work, sometimes going too narrow can backfire.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. When you get too specific with your targeting, you might miss out on potential customers who could actually be a good fit for your services. Especially if you're a local business, you want to build that brand awareness in your community. Think about those future customers, those people who'll be singing your praises to their friends.
It's like putting all your eggs in one very small basket, right?
Yeah.
You might hit the bullseye with some people, but you're completely missing out on a whole other group who could be loyal customers down the road.
Absolutely. And, to be honest, people don't always fit neatly into those little boxes that targeted advertising creates. People's interests, their needs, they change all the time.
So how do we find that balance then? Should we just ditch targeted advertising altogether and go back to, old school mass marketing blasts?
Well, not necessarily. There's a happy medium, a more strategic approach we call sophisticated mass markets.
Sophisticated mass marketing. I love it. So what's the secret sauce here?
It's all about understanding your ideal customer, but also recognizing that there's a wider audience out there who might be interested in what you have to offer. It's not about blindly shouting your message to the masses. It's about being smart about who you're reaching and how you're reaching them.
So it's like a blend of targeted and broad approaches.
You got it. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're reaching a large enough audience to get the word out and generate leads, but you're also tailoring your message so that it connects with different segments of your potential customer base.
This is where things get interesting for local businesses like plumbers, landscapers, electricians. I mean, they're not just trying to make a one-time sale, they're trying to become the go-to expert in their local community.
Exactly. So, a plumber might run targeted ads online to those folks who are searching for, let's say, emergency plumbing services. Those are the folks who need help right now and they're ready to take action. But at the same time, they also want to build that long-term trust and name recognition within their community.
Makes sense. So how do they do that?
Well, that's where something like TV advertising can be surprisingly effective.
Really? TV? I mean, isn't that a bit old school?
It might seem that way, but TV still has incredible reach, especially for local businesses, and it gives you a platform to tap into those emotional triggers we were talking about earlier.
You mean like using images of happy families enjoying their newly renovated bathroom to build that sense of trust and reliability?
Exactly. You're not just selling plumbing services, you're selling peace of mind. And TV gives you the space to tell that story in a way that, a quick online ad just can't.
Okay, starting to see the big picture here, but let's be real for a second. TV advertising, I mean, it can be pricey. How does a local business with, a limited budget make that work?
Well, that's where having a solid media plan comes in. You don't need to be on TV 24/7, right? It's all about picking the right programs, the right times to air your ads, and figuring out how often you need to be in front of your audience.
So it's about being strategic. It's
Yeah.
not just about how much money you spend, it's about spending it wisely.
Exactly. You've got to find that right mix of targeted and broad approaches that will actually help you achieve your specific marketing goals. And remember, it's not a set it and forget it thing. You've got to analyze your results and be willing to adjust your approach based on what's working and what's not.
Wow, this is giving me a lot to think about. It's clear that it's not just about creating a website and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
There's a whole science behind this. There's a real art to crafting marketing messages that truly resonate with people.
That's what makes it so fascinating, right? There's always something new to learn, and it's incredibly rewarding when you see your efforts paying off. And it's not just about getting your name out there, it's about building trust and credibility. And that's where the next psychological principle comes in social proof.
Social proof. Yeah, the everyone's doing it, so it must be good
Mhm.
kind of thing. We see it everywhere. Online reviews, celebrity endorsements, even those best-selling labels on products.
Exactly. And as humans, we're naturally drawn to things that other people already seem to like. It's like a shortcut for our brains. We figure, hey, if a bunch of other people think it's good, it probably is right.
Makes sense. So how does this play out in local marketing? Let's
Yeah.
say I'm an electrician trying to, build my reputation in town.
Well, one of the best things you can do is showcase proof that you're a reliable and trustworthy choice. Think about those testimonials from happy customers, especially if they're from people in your local community.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference. I mean, a testimonial from someone I might actually bump into at the grocery store
Yeah.
holds a lot more weight, right? But aren't people kind of skeptical of testimonials these days? How do you make them sound genuine and not like, made up or something?
That's a really good point. The
Mhm.
key is to make them feel real and relatable. So
Yeah.
instead of just saying, this electrician is great, encourage your customers to share details about their experience. What was the problem they had? How did you solve it? What did they appreciate most about working with you?
So it's about telling a story, not just stating a fact, right? And I bet video testimonials are even more powerful.
Oh, for sure. Video lets people see the emotion and hear the sincerity in your customer's voice. It just adds a level of authenticity that you just can't get with text.
So it's not just about getting those testimonials. It's about presenting them in a way that really connects with potential customers. What are some other ways that local businesses can use social proof?
Don't underestimate the power of numbers. highlight how many happy customers you've served, the number of projects you've completed, the years you've been in business. Those things can subtly reinforce your credibility.
It's like saying, hey, we've been around for a while. We've helped a lot of people. We must be doing something right.
Exactly. And if you've won any awards or have certifications, make sure those are front and center. It shows that you've got that third-party validation that people trust.
Like a seal of approval from someone they already respect. And speaking of trust, we can't forget about the liking principle, right? I mean, we're more inclined to do business with people we like and feel a connection with.
Absolutely. People buy from people they like. It's human nature.
So how can a local business make itself more likable?
It all starts with building a strong brand personality. Think about what makes your business unique and let that shine through in your marketing.
So if I'm a landscaper and I'm super passionate about, sustainable practices, I should make sure to highlight that in my messaging.
Exactly. People are drawn to authenticity. They want to see the real you, not some generic corporate facade. And if you're a plumber known for your great sense of humor, let that personality come through in your social media posts or even your website copy.
So it's about showing that you're a real person with a passion for what you do, not just some faceless company.
And remember, liking also comes from building genuine relationships with your audience. Respond to comments and messages on social media. Get involved in community events. You could even offer a free workshop to share your expertise. Those little touches can make a big impact.
It's about fostering those connections, not just focusing on transactions. Now let's talk about the authority principle. I mean, we tend to trust people who seem like they really know their stuff, right? Who have that experience.
Exactly. Think about it. When you need medical advice, you go to a doctor, not, the guy next door. It's the same for any service. People want to feel confident that they're working with someone who knows what they're doing.
So how does a local business, like a plumber or an electrician, go about establishing that authority?
Content marketing is a powerful tool. You can create informative blog posts, videos, or social media content that answers common questions or addresses problems your target audience might have.
So instead of just saying, we fix leaky faucets, a plumber could make a video explaining the different types of faucets, how to troubleshoot common issues, or even how to choose the right faucet for your needs.
Exactly. You're positioning yourself as the go-to expert for everything plumbing related, and that builds trust and confidence with your audience.
It's about educating them, not just trying to sell them something. What are some other strategies that local businesses can use to really boost their authority?
Well, don't be afraid to get certified. If there are industry-recognized certifications or licenses that demonstrate your expertise, make sure you highlight those.
It's like having a degree from the University of Plumbing or the Landscaping Institute. It gives potential customers that extra reassurance. And speaking of reassurance, let's talk about the scarcity principle.
Yeah, the fear of missing out, FOMO, as they call it.
We've all been there, right? That limited time offer, the flash sale, the product that's almost sold out. It creates that urgency, that feeling that we have to act now or we'll miss our chance.
Exactly. Scarcity taps into our psychological need to avoid loss. We tend to place a higher value on things that are rare or in limited supply, but it has to be genuine. You can't just fake it.
Right. You can't just slap a limited time offer on everything and expect it to work. People will see right through that.
If you're a landscaper, maybe you offer a special discount to the first 10 people who book their spring cleanup. Or if you're an electrician, you might have a limited number of slots available for a free home electrical safety inspection.
It creates a sense of exclusivity, like, hey, if you want this, you better jump on it because it won't last forever.
Exactly. And it triggers that impulse to take action. But remember, use scarcity sparingly and make sure it's authentic. If everything is always scarce, it loses its impact.
It's all about finding that balance between creating that sense of urgency and maintaining your credibility. This is all so insightful. I'm really starting to see how these psychological principles can be woven together to create a really effective marketing strategy.
And the best part is you can apply these principles to every part of your marketing, from your website design to your social media posts to your advertising campaigns.
But it's not just about knowing the principles, right? It's about using them in a way that's both strategic and ethical.
Absolutely. The goal isn't to manipulate people. It's about connecting with them, building trust, and providing real value.
It's about creating those win-win situations where everybody benefits. Now let's tie it all together and talk about how local businesses can actually put these psychological principles into practice. All right, so we've talked about priming, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. It's a lot to take in. But how do we actually put all of this into practice? Where do we even begin?
Well, a great place to start is with the foundation of your online presence, your website.
Your website. Yeah, it's like your digital storefront. It's often the first impression a potential customer has of your business.
Exactly. And you want to make sure it's a good one. Remember all those psychological principles we've been talking about?
So instead of just listing our services, we should be telling a story, showcasing those testimonials, and really highlighting what sets us apart from the competition.
You got to use high-quality images that make people feel like they can trust you and that you're competent.
Like a plumber showing off a sparkling clean kitchen instead of just a wrench.
Exactly. And remember those testimonials? We talked about how powerful they can be. Make sure they're front and center on your homepage and on your service pages.
Not just any testimonials, though, right? Those detailed, authentic stories that really connect with people.
Right. You want potential customers to see themselves in those stories, to feel confident that you can solve their problems. And make sure your call to action is clear and easy to follow.
Something like, get a free quote today, or schedule your service online.
Exactly. You want to remove any barriers and make it super simple for people to take the next step.
Okay, so websites covered. What about social media? How can local businesses leverage psychology to really stand out in that crowded space?
Social media is all about building relationships and establishing yourself as an expert in your field. Think about creating content that actually provides value to your audience.
So instead of just posting promotional stuff all the time, we should be sharing tips, answering questions, and engaging in those conversations.
Exactly. Become that trusted resource, the go-to expert in your field. If you're a landscaper, share tips on lawn care or plant selection. If you're an electrician, explain how to troubleshoot common electrical problems.
It's about educating people, entertaining them, not just trying to sell them something.
And remember, social proof is huge on social media. Share those customer testimonials, highlight positive reviews, showcase any awards or certifications you've received.
It's like building your online reputation, that digital word of mouth.
Exactly. And don't forget about the liking principle. Show your personality, be authentic, and interact with your followers. Respond to comments, answer questions, and participate in relevant conversations.
It's all about building those connections, those personal touches that make people want to do business with you.
All right, so let's talk about advertising, whether it's online or offline. You've got to make sure your ads are psychologically sound.
Right. We talked about strong visuals, compelling headlines, clear calls to action. But how do we actually weave in those psychological principles into our campaigns?
It all starts with understanding your target audience. What makes them tick? What are their pain points, their aspirations? Use those insights to create messages that really hit home on an emotional level.
So if I'm a plumber targeting homeowners with young children,
Yeah.
I might want to focus on, the peace of mind that comes with knowing their plumbing is safe and reliable.
Exactly. You're not just selling plumbing services, you're selling that sense of security and comfort. And don't be afraid to test different approaches. Try out different headlines, visuals, calls to action.
And track those results so we can see what's actually working and what's not.
Exactly. Marketing is all about testing and refining. So remember, we talked about scarcity. If you're running a promotion or a limited time offer, make sure to highlight that urgency in your ads.
Create that fear of missing out, that sense that they need to act now.
Exactly. But again, it has to be genuine. You don't want to overuse it or people will start to tune it out.
Okay, so we've covered websites, social media advertising, anything else that local businesses should be thinking about.
You know, the most important thing is to never stop learning. The world of marketing is constantly evolving. New technologies are emerging all the time.
So we need to stay ahead of the curve.
Read industry blogs, attend conferences. Don't be afraid to try new things. And remember, you don't have to figure this all out on your own. There are so many resources available to help you succeed.
Right. Marketing agencies, online communities.
Exactly. So reach out, ask questions, connect with other people in your industry.
And never give up on that dream of building a thriving, successful local business. This has been such a great deep dive. I feel like we've uncovered so many valuable insights about using psychology to create more effective marketing.
And remember, it's not about tricking people. It's about understanding how they make decisions so you can connect with them on a deeper level.
Build trust and ultimately help your business grow. If you like this episode and you want us to deep dive into more topics like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel and share it with your network. We'll see you next time.